Arno, it's Allie. I just wanted to thank you so much for everything I've learned from you this year. I've really enjoyed your visits, and I'll be around for one more year, so I'll definitely come back next year. I've learned so many things from you throughout our visits, and one of the things I've learned from you is that I should appreciate life and appreciate all my family and friends. The other thing that you've made me really try to aspire to do is that you travel. You've always told me to take advantage of everything I want to do in life, and we've had many discussions about traveling throughout the world, and I'm going to do it one day, and I'll have so many stories to come back and tell you about. Another important lesson that I've learned from you is how to deal with tough situations. You've always told me that I can do anything in life and that there's no excuse for not doing something. So when I've encountered a tough situation and I said that I couldn't do things, you always said it's not that you can't do it, it's that you don't want to. So whenever I think of hard situations, you always pop in my head telling me that I can really actually do it, so now I have no excuse. One of my favorite qualities about you is that you're definitely one of the most courageous and kind persons that I've ever met. I truly admire your heroism that you showed to the boys in Terrazin, and that story will always stick with me, and I will forever remember it and tell everyone who I love. Just it's something that needs to be heard and something that needs to be remembered. I was really, truly excited that I was able to meet Jeanne, one of the boys from the camp, and it was really exciting to see how much you really meant to these boys and just see another person whose life you've truly impacted. And you know, I feel like I've definitely become one of those people too. I'm proud to be called one of your children, and I can't wait to continue our friendship next year. Thank you so much for everything.
Arno, it's Jeanne. My favorite memory of you is when you took us to the Holocaust Memorial. I thought it was so special because your legs were hurting that day, but you still walked with us the whole entire time. And you took your time and you let us read each section of the memorial and explain all the pictures to us. I thought it was awesome because I got to walk through the memorial with an actual Holocaust survivor and someone who was one of my great friends. It was a magical moment too when you showed us your parents' name on the wall. It just was really reflective and put everything into perspective. And when I was walking back through the memorial, there were these two hands, and one hand is pointing up to the sky, and then one hand was a reflection on the water. And no matter where I walked around the Holocaust Memorial, the hand would be pointing up and to me, like it couldn't escape me. And during that moment, it really showed me my purpose in meeting you, and that is to share your story. A unique quality about Arno, I would say, was his positive outlook on life and his ability to tell great stories. The first day we met him, he said, "I'm not going to make you cry." Like a lot of the other Holocaust survivors, our stories, the stories are so dire and the situations are so rough sometimes that people get very emotional. But Arno always had the cheerful twist on every single story. Like, for example, one story he was telling us was about a beggar. When he was a beggar, when he got out of the camp and everything. And he said that he was glad that he went through that experience because now he can relate to other beggars and he knows how it feels. Another example would be one time Arno was getting surgery on his back and he was joking around saying that they were going to slice him up like bologna. It's just like every single situation and story that he says and tells us, he comes out stronger because of it and learns a lesson or can just laugh about it. And he just looks fear in the face and laughs. And whenever I go through a bad situation now, I think about Arno and what I can learn from the situation and carry with me for life. One way that Arno has really inspired me is to be more well-rounded of a person. Throughout his life, he's been great at a lot of different things. He's a natural teacher. He's been a great mentor, a great husband, a great father. He's really given back to the community, and he just has so many stories, and I hope that when I get older I can sit back and tell as many stories as he can, and someone will want to listen to him. Another great thing that I really appreciate is when I always go over there, he's so well versed on so many subjects. He can talk about a variety of different cultures and everywhere he's been in the world, and he can tell you about all different kinds of religions, and he just has so much knowledge and stories. And throughout our relationship, he's really become one of my best friends and a family member and really a mentor in my life, and he's really inspired me in so many ways, and I'll never ever forget his stories, and I'll talk about him all the time. I spread the word to everyone.
Hi, I'm Marjorie Sokoloff, and I met Arno probably 3 years ago when I first got involved in the iCheck program, and he did as well. And really only in the last year did we become much closer when, on his gentle insistence, I started to spend more time with him, coming to see him at his own home instead of just coming across him at parties and things like that. And I think whatever it was that he did to encourage me to spend more time with him, that's who he is. That's a perfect example of how he kind of reaches out to people and helps you to be a better you, a better version of yourself. And he somehow knew that it was something that I wanted and needed in my life, and he made it happen, and yet made it seem like I made it happen. So that's what's one of the amazing things about Arno. So I was asked to talk about things I would want to say to you, Arno. What I've learned from you, how you've contributed to my life. And just in the short time that I've known you, I feel I've learned a lot just about life. For one thing, your ability to connect with other people is extraordinary. And I think it's something that sustained you through your whole life, and it's something that I would really like to emulate, be able to do myself. Just the idea that human relationships are the most important thing in life, and the way you reach out to others and bring them into your home and into your world, it's just really admirable. Everyone feels welcome and comfortable with you, and you've also just maintained contact with people from all different stages of your life, whether it's your high school classmates from Czechoslovakia to the boys in Terezin. Now that you're part of this program, you never forget any of the students who've ever come to meet with you, even just 1 or 2 times. And I think you have your heart and your mind in the right place, and you teach others about that. A whole bunch of notes here. Actually, going along with that, I think one of the things that you do is you make everyone feel valuable. And if you look back at what you did in Terezin, that whole Beaver group and the point system you created was really about that. It was about showing that every single person has value. And so again, I feel like when people come to your home, everyone feels that they're important in one way or another. You're also generous. You're generous with things, money, resources. You can see that in your life history after the war, how you shared what you had with anyone who was in need. But it's still the case that I walk into your house, I always leave with more things than I entered with. Even if I think, okay, today I'm going to give you something, you give me more things back. And I have books and tapes and all kinds of things. And you just have this idea that the world is this kind of just a place where people exchange things and ideas. You don't hoard anything. You don't hoard your ideas or your possessions or anything about you. It's all up for grabs, something to be shared. One of the questions that the students creating this video had put down was, what is your favorite quality about Arno? And that would have to be your humor. When I met you, it was definitely my first exposure to what I call Holocaust humor. We were at a luncheon, one of the ones that Barbara Davis organizes, and I was sitting next to Arno,
and he obviously felt that I was not eating enough. And so he said to me, one thing we learned in Auschwitz, if you don't eat, you die. And I had never experienced anything like that before. And so I thought, wow, that's my first Holocaust joke, as it were. I'm sort of running out of things. I mean, another question that was on the list here was about like a challenge in life that knowing Arno has helped me to overcome. And I think the way I'd like to answer that is life itself is the challenge. I always have felt that creating a life, because I don't believe that your life just happens. You know, you have to make your life significant. You have to make your life meaningful. And I feel that knowing Arno has really inspired me not to be lazy, not to just let life happen to me and just exist day to day. You might think that someone who survived the Holocaust would be content with just an existence, feeling like, wow, at least I'm still here. But Arno is the kind of person who makes you feel that you want to do more and you can do more. And it's a big responsibility to create a life and to create a home for your family, for your children. And I feel inspired by Arno to adopt that philosophy of life, to be active and to do and to reach out. I think that's probably where I would end.
Hi Arno, it's Erica. Just wanted to thank you so much for everything you've done for me from the 2 semesters that I saw you, and hopefully I'll see you by the end of this semester. Basically, words can't describe how much you've affected me. I had, from nursery school to high school, all Jewish education, and the 2 semesters with you impacted me much more than those, say, 15 years of my life, and just your stories were amazing and sounded like such adventures, like scary but great at the same time. And basically now that you have impacted me, I've tried to impact other people and younger people. I started working with autistic kids, and I'm just trying to influence them and basically the next generation, just like what you try to do with us. And I just want to thank you a lot for that. And I love you, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
So, a favorite memory. I'm trying to think of one because it's difficult to narrow them down. I guess I've been seeing you for almost 2.5 years? 2 years? I don't know. And you know what you mean to me. You know that I've written you lots of letters, and I've come to see you, I've met your family, you've met mine. I consider you like my grandfather in Miami. And probably my biggest regret is that you and my grandparents won't get to meet, and that you won't get to see Charleston. But I'm trying to think of where to start and how to fit it into 3 minutes, because you know that I talk too much. I would say that out of probably the hundreds of people that I've met, you've made the biggest impact of a member of anybody that's not in my family, and even that, you're in my family, so you're even considered in that. You have changed my life in a lot of ways, which most of them you probably know, but in case you don't, you've made me realize that there's always a silver lining to the cloud, that no matter what, there's always something that can get worse, but there's always something that can go better. So let's see. I love that you welcomed me into your family, that you are like my Jewish grandparents. Where to begin? Probably your honesty. I would say your honesty is your best quality that I've noted, simply because you don't sugarcoat it. And while on the one hand it makes it nice because I get more of the inner experience of what maybe being in a camp would be like, which I know that can never be a first-hand experience, thank God, but you're much more honest with me, and you're more, Not to mention that you tell me that I talk a lot, which not many people have the gall to do. I'm not sure why. Also, I admire that you know so much and that despite things that have happened to you, you're still very upbeat and happy, and that you only consider that one chapter in your life instead of a lot of people who would dwell on it as being the purpose for their life. I mean, I've met what you consider to be your children who are my grandparents' age. Probably younger, but... and I wouldn't necessarily consider them brothers, but I consider them family because of how they talk about you, and I feel like we share that relationship. Like, me and these boys have this similar fatherly ideal of you that you've allowed us to have. I guess that's it. I don't know. I love you. You know that. And I'll probably see you when you get this. Bye.
Hi, Mr. Erban. I have so much to say to you and so much to thank you for. As you know, this semester has been a pretty stressful one for me. Not only do I not handle stress well anyway, but just being junior year, having harder classes, having to make lifetime decisions, put a lot on my plate this semester. And I know there was a time that I felt kind of guilty because I wasn't really contacting you that much and feeling my responsibility to you as a friend. But it was just so amazing and touching to me how you fully understood. I remember when I first came to explain the situation to you, I didn't really have to even say anything. You were completely understanding and completely generous and caring. And that just meant a lot to me to know that you understand me as your student, as your friend, as someone who's been in contact with you this entire year, and the way you were just so accepting of my situation. And you really, really helped calm me down and kind of take away a lot of the anxiety I was feeling from school, from life, from missing my family. Just being able to come visit you and Yolanda this year has really filled in that void I have for my family, and it's just so relaxing after a day of class, after a day of tests, or working on extracurricular activities to be able to come and just sit on the couch and talk to you and Yolanda about, everything in life, whether it's the Holocaust, whether it's things we're going through right now. It really is a release in my everyday life. Not only have you contributed to me in that way, but in many other ways as well. Your strength has completely motivated me. Even dealing with things with my back and things I'm not able to do anymore. I just see how you deal with everything, but you never dwell on it. And I've noticed that even everything you did after the Holocaust, you just never took any kind of excuse. And I really learned from you that the only person that can limit yourself is you. And you've taught me that I should never limit myself and my abilities. And what I just find so striking is everything you achieved after the Holocaust. I remember when I first heard about everything, my mouth just dropped to the floor. Being the founder of an anti-cancer society and being the founder of the first blood bank was just absolutely amazing to me. And knowing that you left the Holocaust with no family, no friends, and were able to move to this country and learn Spanish and be successful and completely excel has even motivated me to learn Spanish and try to excel in my internship and try to push myself to do everything I want to do in life. Similar to you, I like to always stay busy, but I really learned that your attitude in what you do is what matters the most. And you really showed me and taught me how to be able to do everything I want to do without letting it affect me and without letting it get the best of me. And that's something I will take on for the rest of my life in graduate school, when I have a family. If I ever want to start an organization, I'll always remember that it's your attitude. Even when everything's falling down on your shoulders and you feel like you can't take any more, if you don't have the right attitude about it, then it's really not worth it, and it's not worth what you're doing. As you know, again, like I've said, I've had a lot of things here and there that you really, really helped me with, little issues. I have just, again, anxiety of being away from my family and losing my family and being so far from them. You really, really helped teach me that life is life and you can't control anything, and the only thing you control is your actions and the way you react towards things. And I just know that the strength that I've learned and gained from you, I'll be able to overcome any situation that happens to me in the future. Whatever happens in the future, I'm not worried about, because I know I'll always use your story and my relationship that I've gained with you to help me get through it, and that's something that no other class in college, nothing else could possibly have given me. Some other things that I really want to mention is one thing I absolutely love about your character is your ability to connect with others. I noticed that you can find the smallest thing and connect with someone. The way I've seen you connect with Dr. Sokolov is different than I've seen the way you connect with me or Jeanne. And I remember I even brought my friend Stephanie to your house one time, and you completely connected with her. And it's just your ability to find, little characteristics about everyone, or even things that someone else enjoys that you enjoy as well, just because you're so knowledgeable and you can just relate to everyone. And I feel like that's one of the most important things in this world, especially after everything you've gone through. You have no type of hatred or bitterness towards the world. You actually have a desire to get to know everything about everyone, and just really relate to people. And that's just so remarkable, and that's what we really need as humanity, to be able to get along and get over violence and get over all these problems, is to be able to take the situation we've been in and still have that desire to connect with people and to learn from others. And that's just amazing to me, and it's something that could help me in the professional world, with my friends, with my relationships. Just being able to connect with everyone I'm around is just going to make life so much better for me, and that's another thing you've really taught me. And I just can't thank you enough for everything you've helped me out with this semester, and everything you've given me in life, and everything I'm going to be taking away from just this 1 year that I've spent with you. Thank you so much. One word I would use to describe you, Arno, which I feel like is the most powerful word I could possibly use, is unconquerable. I think it's a perfect fit because I believe your soul, your spirit, your desire to live, your desire to learn from others, your desire to give back is truly unconquerable, and I feel like anything that's been dealt to you in life, you have just overcame and really grown and really contributed back. And there's this specific poem that is my favorite poem and has helped me really deal with what I've gone through with my back. And it's called Invictus, and it's a very special poem to me, and you have really personified this poem for me and really put a face to the poem rather than just reciting it as a poem. I really think of your story, which has just made it even more meaningful and even more powerful for me. So I'll go ahead and recite the poem for you. It's called Invictus, and it goes like this. Out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the felt clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horrors of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And that's by William Ernest Henley. And just like the last sentence, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. You have really taught and instilled that in me. Thank you so much again for everything you've given me through this program.
We love you.